to you from what looks like a bright and sunny, scorching hot day here on the Costa del Sol, south of Spain. The reality is, yes, it's bright and sunny. It's also quite windy, and I believe it's going to remain so for the rest of today. If you saw my video walking to Fuengirola, you'll have seen that there's quite a lot of rain, but I'm not expecting any rain today. On the other hand, it's not particularly warm. There's quite a chilly breeze blowing, and at the moment it's about 10 Celsius, and I believe the temperature in the middle part of the day is going to go up to about 18, so that'll be nice when it actually reaches that. But I think the cool breeze probably will not help. Now, to put this into perspective, this is the end of winter, beginning of spring, so even this far south in Europe, can't expect to have hot sunny weather all the time, but if you find a shady spot, it'll be lovely. Anyway, all that over and done with, today I'm going to take a trip from here in Torremolinos, the La Colina area, to Malaga, the city of Malaga. Let's have a little wander around there for a few hours, see what we see, and see how busy it is at this time of year. It is, of course, a proper famous working city. It's not all about tourists there, it's very much about the locals, and I expect it will be business as usual there. So I'm just heading up to the train station, in this particular case La Colina, and if you're in Torremolinos itself, it does have its own station in that direction, in the centre of the old town itself. And it's a nice little, where am I going with this? Yeah, it's a nice little railway line that runs between Fuengirola and the centre of Malaga, also via Malaga Airport and Maria Zambrano railway station. Now, Maria Zambrano is the station you'll need if you're arriving or departing by the excellent Spanish high-speed services, the AVE trains. The train that takes you to the centre of Malaga is just like the local trains. That's where I'm heading, because I want the city, not the interchange with high-speed trains. From Maria Zambrano, you can get trains to all over Spain, many of which will operate via, or you'll need to change in Madrid. Madrid's one of those handy capital cities right in the centre of the country, so everything fans out from there. And if you're going up to the north or the northeast, Barcelona, Santander, places like that, you're almost certainly going to be going via Madrid, if not changing trains there. So anyway, it's just a little local train today. Takes about 20 minutes or so to get you into the centre, 23 actually, according to the timetable, and they run every 20 minutes in both directions. So just heading up there now, and if I've timed it right, I shouldn't have long to wait for a train. What's the other thing I can tell you about the trains before we get there? It's zonal fares, so the price will depend on how many zones you pass through. I think it was starting at, just trying to think off the top of my head, €1.80 up to about €3 if you go the full length from Malaga to Fuengirola. You can buy a ticket, there are ticket machines at all the stations, and indeed you can use contactless. It's probably easiest if you've got a family with small children to just buy a ticket, and if you're travelling on your own, or two adults, or paying for your own fare, just go contactless, tap it at the reader when you enter the station, or through the ticket barrier if there is one, and don't forget to tap out at the end if there isn't a ticket barrier. For example, here at La Colina, there's no ticket barriers, but there are readers. They're not the easiest things to find, Once you've identified what one looks like, it's straightforward after that. But your first visit, you might be wondering if you're even visiting the right thing. But yeah, just tap a credit card or debit card and it will charge you the correct fare once you have tapped out at the other end. Right, just gonna finish off walking down to the station and jump on the train, hopefully in about 10 minutes time. And here we are at La Colina train station. It's a fairly unassuming sort of place, but there is a car park here. I'm not sure if you have to pay for it or not. I can't see any machines or anything. There seems to be quite a lot of parking as well, so if you've got a car and need to drive to here, then looks like that wouldn't be too much of a problem. And yeah, don't bother trying to drive to the one in Torremolinos, you won't even get close. We've got about 5 minutes to wait for the train now. And just up here by this brown building is where the ticket machines are, and also the ticket reader. Contactless reader. Ticket reader. Which has been repaired. This is what you need if you're paying contactless or using your Renfe card. Here we are at the Malaga Centro Almeida station. Most people got on or off at the airport, and again on or off at the Maria Zambrano, which, as I say, is a big interchange for the high-speed train services down to Malaga from all parts of Spain. Right, so I'm just going to take a general wander around Malaga today, keep my eyes peeled for signs, and the brown signs, the ones that tend to send you to places that people like me will like to go to. And I'm going to start by heading off towards the cathedral, and that's usually a good central part of any city, and down towards the port, and just take it from there. So it's been a long time since I had a proper look around Malaga itself. I've been through the city many times, interchanged at Maria Zambrano and the airport many times, but it's quite a while since I've actually been in the city centre itself. So I'll be heading over that way once the little green men appear in 28 seconds. Guadalmedina. Yeah, it looks far more impressive on the map than it does in reality. It looks more like just a water runoff channel from the impressive hills we have just behind this city. Normally a good idea in places like this, so you don't wash the entire city away when it rains heavily. Unfortunately, it never look that great, unlike real rivers and proper canals. It's just a shallow drainage channel, really, with a bit of litter in it. Anyway, won't worry about that. A lot of hotels around this part of the city. All these yellow signs here are the ones pointing out the main hotels. Astoria, Posada del Patio, Vinci, Hotel Vinci, Posada del Patio, Posadas. Okay. remember many years ago when I was a very young man walking across here and down this street, I'd recognise it straight out from the railway station there. And I came for, I've looked around Málaga a few times, but as I say, it was quite a long time ago now. But I think the first occasion I came, I walked down here, fancied a drink of some description, walked into a kind of a cafe bar, and never got any further. Started chatting to the barman about stuff, about football, about England, about Spain, and so on and so forth, and ended up just spending the entire day there. Well, entire day, certainly a good few hours, and then went back again to, I believe, Torremolinos. I certainly shall not be doing that today, but it would be funny if I recognised the bar. I remember an awful lot of wood panelling and very charming old-fashioned, traditional old-fashioned Spanish bar. It's just down here somewhere. Probably still there, probably changed hands 1,000 times and it looks completely different. I am going back a bit. I do like the old streets of Málaga. Alameda Principal is just there. It's kind of a busy road with pedestrianised walkway on each side. I'm going to take the road that runs parallel to it. I do like walking down these what you would call back streets, or quieter side streets, I think would probably be a better term to use. Looking at the architecture down here, the old buildings, and the atmosphere of the place. I already feel that once you get away from Spanish tourist areas into traditional cities, and while a lot of tourists do make the effort to come down from the Costa resorts, they as a percentage of all the visitors that come to Spain, I'll say the vast majority don't, and you're missing a trick really, particularly if you're coming on a 2-week holiday to the Costa del Sol to, you know, just give up that one day sat by the pool and go and explore a really interesting Spanish city. You'll be foolish not to, I think, but you know, that's it. Everyone's holiday is their holiday. They will do what they fancy doing. I wouldn't bother with it if I had young children. They'd be much better catered for by the pool or on the beach than wandering around a city. And it will get very hot in here during the summer. It's quite cool today. It's not 10 o'clock yet. There is that cool breeze still, and as you will see, despite the fact I've got shorts on, I do also have a sweatshirt on, and the locals are wrapped up like it's about to start snowing. Yeah, I'm sure when I last came down here there wasn't a shop advertising specialty coffee roaster. Nice smells. I can smell some churros on the go there, back there, which are fabulous to have with coffee or a hot chocolate. And if they're freshly fried would be the word, isn't it? Deep fry them, don't they? So yeah. Sort of heady aroma of cigarette smoke, coffee, and churros. That's what I can smell right now. So a quick shimmy via Calle Cordoba back onto Alameda Principal, which is the road or street that they originally Google Maps was originally sending me to. So back on the main drag now. It's quite busy along here, quite noisy. Usual array of vendors, shops, money exchange, and yeah, well, Burger King and McDonald's over the way there. As normal, I shall not be frequenting those. Just coming up to Plaza de la Marina. There's the port just to my right over there with a very big ship in. I don't know if that's a cruise ship or a very large ferry. The sun is right in my eyes at the moment, so it's difficult to tell. Russador, not sure. Looks more like a car ferry actually. Yeah, I can see the front portion of the ship, the bow lifted, so that looks like it's a roll-on roll-off ferry or cargo ferry. It's very impressive, very big. Of course you can get to North Africa from here, from how do you say it, Algeciras, or pronounce something similar to that, and Gibraltar over to Morocco. So there's ferries there, trips you can do from this neck of the woods. It's quite a long day. I did that many years ago. Took a coach from, I'm thinking probably Torremolinos down to the port, and the hour or so ferry ride across to Morocco, and a tour round and a trip to a souk and all that sort of thing. It was a very, very long day, but it was very pleasurable. Right, so some of the usual tourist stuff kicking in here. The horse and coach and horse, open top coaches. Well, pleasurable way of looking around the city, if slightly more expensive, I guess, than on foot. I would actually say that if you wishing to make a nice tour of Andalusia, Malaga's a great starting point, maybe for a couple of nights. There's many flights to Malaga, so you normally find that the prices it's a lot cheaper to fly to Malaga than perhaps it would be to Granada or to Seville, and as such a good place to pick up a car. I wouldn't necessarily have a car while in Malaga itself, as the public transport here is excellent, and it's eminently walkable city as well, so there's not really any need for it. I'd be very much inclined to have a few days here and then go and pick a car up, probably from the airport, back to the airport, and drive out of this city and head around wonderful Andalusia and visit places such as Seville, Granada, Cordoba, and many more. The white pueblos, Pueblo Blanca, which I am considering visiting one of them tomorrow. Haven't fully decided yet. Again, it will very much depend upon the weather. If it's like this, then I'm definitely going. If it's going to be like it was yesterday, then most probably not. Come up to the cathedral now and look at the colour of that in the sunshine. Sorry about the dustbins in the foreground. Still quite early here, so not so many tourists wandering around yet. Plus, as I said earlier on, this is fairly off season. Not too many people in the beach resorts. I would say, personally, a fabulous time to come to Andalusia if you're going inland to places such as Seville and Cordoba would be end of April, beginning of May. You have the Patios de Cordoba, I think in the second week of May. But those places do get absolutely scorching hot during the summer months, so springtime is definitely the time to go. It'll be a lot cooler here on the coast, but out there in Seville and Cordoba, absolutely glorious weather, really warm and not so hot that you're unable to walk around and enjoy it. This is an absolutely beautiful square just by the cathedral. The buildings are fabulous. It is, of course, a bit of a, well, I won't call it a tourist trap, but it's certainly the centre of all things touristy. And here you've got the cultural centre, or Malaga Cultural Centre, which you can go and look around for some very interesting artefacts to look at. The brown signs that I referred to, telling you where all the most interesting places are actually a bluey grey colour here. Definitely not brown. And Museo del Vino, wine museum. Presumably you can have a bit of a taster. Let's go towards the Museum of Picasso Museum. Go down that way first, I think. And is that a bullfight? Was that bullfighting museum or as well? I know many people have some strong views about bullfighting, not least many Spaniards themselves. But culturally speaking, I believe it's very important on a animal welfare basis. Maybe not so, but that's probably a conversation for a different sort of video. I certainly don't wish to force my views or on others for or against anything particularly. That's up to the viewer to decide. And if we do come across anything to do with bullfighting, I shall report that fact the same as anything else. Yes, this reminds me more of my second trip where I got beyond a cafe and had a proper walk around. It's nice to come back to places you'd been to previously. And very often viewing those places with a completely different set of eyes. One's belonging to, well, hopefully a mature adult, certainly an old adult, as opposed to a young whippersnapper. This is the public entrance to the cathedral with the obligatory person collecting money with a coffee cup outside and a sign made from cardboard and a price list of tickets should you wish to go and have a look around the cathedral. course, the one big benefit, even if it is a little bit on the chilly side today, of coming so off-season and relatively speaking, for Spain at least, early in the morning, is that there's not too many people about, and it makes seeing some of these sites that much easier. Well worth the effort, actually. This particular part of Malaga in the summertime does get very, very busy indeed. Such a picturesque place, and with that blue sky and sunshine hiding the fact there's quite a cool breeze blowing today. Not a bad idea today. In the Alcazaba, the Moorish castle, which overlooks the entire city with some fabulous views. I'm going to walk all the way around and get views from all directions. You know, I honestly think Malaga's one of those cities that's most definitely overlooked by many. Those that are just coming here for holidays on the coast, who don't make the effort just to slip down the coast a little way and visit this fine city, even just for a day. But also the other thing really is, of course, it's the main cruise port for this part of Spain, and many of the people on the cruise ships will be choosing tours to go on, which will include tours around Malaga, or you can just get off the ship here and walk around under your own steam, no problem with that. But of course many will, and why not, head to some of the other more well-known places such as Granada, Seville and Cordoba on various trips. And it just goes to highlight that this part of Spain can't be done in a day from a cruise ship. You need to spend longer here, and I would absolutely recommend that you build Malaga into your itinerary at some point, the start or the end of a driving holiday around this part of Spain, or a coach tour, or indeed travel around by train and coach. It's a very well connected city, and you'll have no problem getting from A to B. So that looks like a really decent set of steps up to that viewing platform up the top, and I'm going to head up there. Indeed, there is the one of the icons of Spanish culture, the bull ring, smack bang in the middle of the city. Lovely view around to the port. Ferries, that's the ferry I could see earlier on. A much better view of it now, and it clearly is a car ferry. Rosadir is its name. Balearia would suggest that it heads out to the Balearic Islands from here, Mallorca, Menorca, Ibiza and so on. Funny how the cool breeze has turned into quite a warm breeze walking up here. If you've got accessibility issues, it's not really the walk for you, for sure. Try not to breathe deeply. And once you do get up to the top, or more or less to the top, you have got a cafe. Well, a little shop that sells drinks and things. There is a cafe just down there somewhere, and just walk past the Parador. They are fantastic accommodations, if not rather expensive these days. Can't really see it from here actually, so we go, but it's just beyond those buildings there, with absolutely stunning views over the whole city from the room balconies, and an extremely impressive swimming pool. Certainly well worthy of considering if you are looking to treat yourself. And for those of you with mobility issues or don't fancy that climb, I see a bus stop there. I'm not sure how frequent the buses are, but clearly there are some, and that will be your way to go to get up here. To get in the castle there is of course an entrance fee. Basic entry £3.50, and to see the monuments £5.50. Reduced rates for children and senior citizens and groups, etc. It looks like it's the number 35 bus that makes its way up here. I'm extremely tempted to jump on that to go back down just to save time, but the walk is it's a stunning views from the walk, so I'm going to do that. Time isn't really an issue today. I'm going to just take a few pictures on the way down, and then we're off to the next fine location. Just on the other side of the fencing is the swimming pool for the Parador. Parador is there. I shall show you some pictures of the fantastic views that you'd get from the balcony straight across Malaga over there. It's one of the nicest looking Paradors I've seen with in terms of location and the view that you're likely to get from your balcony. And I think that's what I'm going to head to next. Looks quite pleasant down there. Seems to be a shortcut from this path that leads you more in that direction, and head off to the lighthouse and the harbour area. So just diverting off the footpath there, the proper footpath, onto this older footpath that's not got slabs down or anything, so you do have to be careful walking down this bit. I'm not entirely certain where it goes to, but it is pointing roughly in the right direction to where I want to go. So in the spirit of adventure, I shall head down here slowly. I did see someone coming down here earlier on. I think it's just a different route back down to the bottom, and will bring me out somewhere near the bull ring, I think, or along that general vicinity. Hopefully, anyway. I'm hoping I don't just get along here and then it comes to a dead end. Absolutely stunning views. I can imagine though, in the height of summer when it's very hot, that walk would be quite an effort. And if you do it, yes, there's a little shop with selling drinks at the top, but I would recommend you took some water with you. Okay, if you decide to stray off the defined footpath and take this route, it's absolutely fine if you're you know, don't have any difficulty walking and so on, and you've got a decent pair of shoes on. I would not be doing this if you've got flip-flops on or very light sandals. I'm nearly down to the bottom now. I'm not really sure what advantage I've gained from this. I seem to be exiting this quote-unquote shortcut into an empty car park just there, but it's in the general direction of where I wanted to go, so I guess that's okay. It's all good fun. I think it's fairly safe to say that didn't really save much. I can just see over there the pathway coming up where I initially came up earlier on. Just there. Anyway, I'm heading over there to the lighthouse, and once we get down this hill here, it's a right turn and looks more or less a straight walk, straight line to it. This is the beauty of having apps on your phone for directions. They sometimes let you down a little bit, but sometimes you're shown routes that sometimes don't exist, such as that one. it's probably closed because it looks like a load of renovation works going on. So Google Maps, you're out of date, but that looks like the pathway to take you down to the sea level. I'm going to have to head this way by the looks of things and take a right further down. That's all part of the fun of exploring. Look at the colourful flowers as well, even though we're at the tail end of winter, beginning of spring. Well, more by accident than planning, I've ended up getting back to sea level by the bullring. Apologies for the noise, someone seems to be doing a bit of renovation work back there. A bit of drilling going on. Some interesting art and photographs in here, not all to do with bullfighting by any means, just seems to be a lot to do with the history of Malaga. And one does wonder how Mrs. Thatcher has managed to appear in a bullring. Answers on a postcard. So you can get some brief glimpses of the bullring itself. They do tours where you can go a bit more in depth into the bullring should you wish. But just to walk in and have a look around. So there's some interesting art and some interesting photographs here that are absolutely nothing to do with bullfighting at all, and focusing on Spanish and world events. The other point probably worth mentioning for those that require such things is it does have some loos in here that you can avail yourself of. So yeah, call in. I'm going to carry on now down to the lighthouse. That's a residential area here, a pedestrianised walkway, and the place that comes to flags. You tend to find that if you're going to be using your cash point to draw out euros, which is not all that necessary really here, most places will take contactless and not much point holding cash, but it's always handy to have some, I guess. If you go to those what they call euro cash machines, whatever they're called, they always rip you off completely with charges, and quite often, dependent on the bank you're using, you can quite often come to machines at banks and there'll be no charge at all. Your own bank may of course charge you, but that's a matter for yourself. But yeah, those little cash point machines you see sort of dotted about all over the place, outside shops and in bars and here, there and everywhere. Absolute rip-off. Avoid them if you can. So, finally made it back to the seashore, the beach, and a nice beach it is too. I'll just walk along the this part here, which is fairly packed down. When you're walking, you don't want to get sand inside your shoes, or that can end up being a painful experience. Very nice here actually. So what's that? 2 sunbeds and 1 umbrella, 14 euros. 14 euros. I'll be inclined to go and sit on a towel and get my own umbrella and bring it down. Is that the going rate for Spain? For couple of deck chairs and an umbrella. despite the still quite chilly breeze, I guess it must be just quite sheltered just in that particular part of the beach there. There's a fair few sat down there, though the majority are still fully clothed. Something, beach areas of cities do tend to be slightly underwhelming, and Barcelona and Valencia, I'm looking at you here, while they have nice beaches in those cities, they're just not, you know, you just feel like you're a bit of a beach next to a city, whereas here it's a different story. It's really rather quite pleasant down here, and perhaps because this season for the beach is a little longer down this part of Spain, perhaps they make a bit more of an effort with it. That's just my views. Yours might be different. Having been to the beaches of all three cities now, I have to say I'm quite impressed with Malaga's beach area. Obviously it's not as good as up the actual tourist resorts. However, if you're visiting Malaga for a few days to look at the sights of the city, you also of course have got this to come and have a look at as well, and go and sit on and play. And why not? Paseo Matias Prats. I better take this route then. English speakers will know what I mean. What's that say there? I do love stickers in Europe. Slightly spelt wrong, but there you go.
Voy a cantar esta canción con mucho cariño de mi corazón.
Right, well, here we are down the Province of Málaga area. Quite a breeze down here. There's the lighthouse. I'm just going to stop for a few minutes and have a drink. Just sit down for a little while before I head back through the city on this really interesting short taster visit to Malaga. As I said earlier on, it's a place well worthy of a day or two at the beginning and end of a tour of Andalusia, or if you're on the coast at some of the beach resorts, head over here for the day. Quite easy to get to. I'm sure you would find it worthwhile. I wonder who's that yacht? Who's that yacht? Station, so that's where we were earlier on, top of that hill, looking down here. Fine views. I can see one of the viewing platform that's halfway up, where a lot of people stopped to get some breath, and there was a guy busking. It really was quite pleasant there, and well sheltered too. When you get down here though, it's really quite windy again. So I'm just going to take a walk away from the marina now and through the Park de Málaga, which seems to be an elongated green space just over there somewhere. So go back into the city and back to the station. Quite a good vibe down here by the marina. This is quite modern, lots of new stuff. There's a Hard Rock cafe just over there, usual array, even a Starbucks. You don't see them too often in Spain, thankfully. So yeah, and a market going on here with the usual knickknacks, little cafes, places to sit down and have a drink, and all is very nice. It's a fairly permanent arrangement, this market. Even a Dunkin' Donuts. So there's the brief wander around this fine city of Malaga. I'm gonna it's about half a kilometre from here. I've just left the marina and port area, just walking up this street. My car was determined to try and run me over a minute ago, whichever direction I went in, so I'll get back over here. Yeah, it's about half a kilometre back to the station from here, so I'm just going to take a slow stroll back now. If I see anything of interest along the way, then I'll add it on the end. However, it's been a great day walking around this city. There is an awful lot to see and do here. If it's going to be incorporated into your plans in this part of Spain, I'll certainly consider that as a must. Even if it's just for a day coming over from Torremolinos or somewhere similar, or as your arrival and departure point by air. Consider staying here a day or two. It really is worthwhile. Very interesting city. Didn't touch on Picasso, but certainly if you're interested in Picasso, there's lots here to interest you. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the like button, maybe subscribe and press on the yellow bell thing for future notifications. I think that's what that does. You know the score. And thank you for watching. I'm gonna be heading off into the hills tomorrow to one of the Pueblo Blanco white villages, and hopefully you'll be interested in seeing that video too. So thanks again for watching. Take care, see you all again soon. Cheers for now.